on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. And by the 2013 Honda CR-V, an IIHS top safety pick. Honda is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It is a spectacular night here in Toronto. The roof is wide open tonight. No threats of thunderstorms in the area. Walt Weiss's Rockies were shut out last night on just 5 hits. Now let's take a look at the Rockies lineup. The starting lineups are brought to you by Quaker Steak. Real, durable oil. Top of the order, different look tonight. Josh Rutledge is the leadoff man. He takes over for Dexter Fowler, who gets the day off. Jordan Pacheco is also in the lineup. Carlos Gonzalez, 7 home runs, 22 RBIs in June. That leads the entire National League. He's off to a great start this month. He was the player of the week last week. Michael Kadire, during 2013 interleague play, he's got a .417 average, 15 for 36, a pair of homers, and 5 RBIs, and they'll face their former teammate, the right-hander Esmil Rogers.
Well, Esmer Rogers coming off a great start. His last outing, 7 strong innings, only giving up 1 home run. That the home run by Nelson Cruz. And he has now just surrendered 2 earned runs in his last 2 outings. So he's pitching well.
Defensively behind Rogers, because the starting pitching has been so good, defense has been really keen. Everybody anticipates every pitch being put into play. Cabrera, Davis, and Bautista back in right field. DeRosa is at third tonight. Esteuras Bonifacio up the middle. Edwin Encarnacion's at first. JP Arancibia will handle Ismael Rogers here tonight.
Good to see Jose back in the lineup in right field. Missed a couple of games with dehydration and some cramping in his legs. Good to see him out in his familiar position in right field.
So we are set to go. We mentioned the starters have 4 wins last time through the rotation. That's been a dramatic turnaround. The starting pitching has been hot. Ismael Rogers is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. Off the inside edge, and we are underway. Josh Rutledge gets the start at second base. He is the everyday second baseman, making his 41st start at second. He fouls that one off the chin of JP Arancibia. Rogers making his 4th start. This is his 26th career start. He is 1-0 in 3 games as a starter. Boy, that's been his bread and butter.
Yeah.
That pitch right there.
There's that sinker that he has really kind of learned how to throw, and it's just a fastball, 2-seam fastball that he's able to get his hand on top of and just runs down and into right-handers. Very effective pitch.
1-2. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Esteuras behind the bag at second. In time, 1 down. Ismael Rogers, we mentioned he's making his 4th start of the season. ERA is good, opponent's batting average impressive, and the whip just over 1. He has really taken to this role.
Well, no question. I think he's comfortable with it. I think in the bullpen, knowing that you might have to pitch every day, you don't get any kind of routine. And as a starter, knowing you have those 4 to 5 days off, depending on off days, I think it fits him well, and he's just really relishing this role right now.
You know, I see more pitches. His ability to spin the breaking balls a little bit better. We've been talking about his 2-seam fastball where he's sinking it in on right-handers, using his changeup. He might flip in a curveball every now and then. Out of the bullpen, it was 1 inning. Here it is. Let's go.
Jordan Pacheco takes strike 2.
Yeah, I think that's
down in the zone.
I think that's a good point you bring up, because in the bullpen, sometimes you're only facing 1 hitter. You might face a whole inning, but you might just face 1 hitter, and that hitter is not going to see everything you have. If you're exposing a weakness, say he doesn't hit the ball away, and you're just pounding fastballs away, where as a starter, you have to really, over the course of the game, show him everything.
They showed him 3 strikes right there. Bottom of the zone. Phil Cuzzy getting what for from Jordan Pacheco, but Rogers has his first strikeout of the night.
Pretty good pitch right there. You can see the grip. That ball is going to go straight down. Look at that thing. Good job by JP Arancibia, really, to catch that ball and hold it right there for the home plate umpire to see.
JP got a little refresher course from Sal Fasano when the team was in Chicago, and I'm already seeing the benefits of it. He's done a better job of presenting the target and keeping that glove quiet. Carlos Gonzalez, tonight he's in left field. Gonzalez was the DH last night. He finished up 0 for 4, but maybe hit the hardest ball all night when he lined out to first base in the 8th inning. First pitch breaking ball.
Isn't that funny? The Blue Jays get a blooper to win the ball game, and Gonzalez hits a rocket. Doesn't have anything to show for it.
Lynn made a great play at first, and it was hit to his glove side. He snared it for the out. Yeah, that's the beauty of baseball. You know, you can say, well, you got 4 hard hit balls, you go 0 for 4, and Historis ends up with 2 hits, broke up the no-hitter, and drives in the only runs of a ball game with a bloop over the shortstop's head.
You know, during this winning streak, the breaks have finally started going the Blue Jays' way.
Jack, what was it like for you to pitch against the Tigers for the first time when you left them?
Well, at the time it was the hardest thing I ever did in the big leagues. Facing your old teammates, especially guys that you admired so much and had so many great moments with. And you know, try to keep from laughing a few times. Take it serious, try to focus. It was not easy to focus, especially with guys like Cecil Fielder, who was telling you that he was going to take you deep right in the middle of your pitch.
Do you remember how you did?
I threw him a changeup. I was trying to screw him into the ground, and I threw him a changeup that went about 50 miles an hour. He did screw into the ground, but the next time he had a rocket.
2-2 pitch, bouncing ball. Bonifacio has it. Quick inning for Esmail Rogers against his former team. The Blue Jays won 2-0 last night on 3 hits. Melky Cabrera will try to turn that around tonight, followed by Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion batting .327 in interleague play. Four hits or less. Last night was a beauty. They got some clutch hitting and timely hits. Top of the order, Melky Cabrera, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion. We mentioned his .327 batting average in interleague play, including 4 homers. And he's driven in 13. And then way down at the bottom of the order, Emilio Bonifacio is back in the lineup at second base because he's got a .337 career average against Colorado. And he scored 17 runs. They are set to take on the lefty, Jeff Francis.
Yeah, 32-year-old left-hander Jeff Francis, making his 10th start of the year. He's making his second start since coming off a 15-day disabled list where he had a slight groin pull. I think he got that running bases, but there's his numbers for this year.
Francis misses the inside corner. It's a ball and a strike. Francis, making his 4th start against the Blue Jays, has won his 3 previous outings. One of those wins came as a member of the Kansas City Royals. Hit up the middle, base hit for Melky Cabrera. Defensively behind Jeff Francis, Gold Glover in left field. Carlos Gonzalez has 2 Gold Gloves to his credit. Tyler Colvin making his 3rd start in the center. Michael Kadire with 3 assists. Nolan Arenado at third base. Herrera and Rutledge up the middle. Todd Helton has 3 Gold Gloves, and the catcher is Willen Rosario. Willen has a terrific arm behind the plate.
In the outfield, they've got some good throwing arms. None better than this guy right here. He leads the National League in outfield assists with 8 to go along with those Gold Gloves.
Jose Bautista goes after the first pitch and rips it over the screen out of play.
Yeah, on both corners in the outfield, they've got some guys that can throw. Michael Kadire, a lot like Carlos Gonzalez, got a great arm. Very few people run on him, so pretty good defensive team.
Kadire's played every position but short and catcher. I mean, he can really play all the positions. He came up with Minnesota, and they weren't sure where to put him. They had him at third, used him at second a lot. He's played first. Played all the outfield positions, but he is a terrific defender.
Baseball player. He's a baseball player. He can play all over the place.
Ball and a strike to Bautista.
Well, Jeff Francis, one of those pitchers, you don't expect anything hard. He's going to get you out with breaking ball, off speed, and take a little off of that. He's pitched well his last time out, but you're going to see a steady diet of breaking balls.
Yeah, don't look for the Jeff Francis from a few years ago when he threw a little bit harder. He'll drop that really slow curveball in on you.
Well, Jose De La Rosa pitched very effective last night, basically showing the fastball but off the plate, and Francis is going to have that same kind of approach.
Downstairs. Jeff Francis was with the Rockies from 2002 through 2010. He signed with Kansas City in 2011. Then he signed a minor league contract with Cincinnati in 2012, and the Reds let him go in June, and Colorado re-signed him. 3-1 pitch to Bautista. He takes his strike. Francis was the 9th overall pick in the draft in 2002. Only Adam Loewen was drafted higher. Loewen was a 5th round pick also in 2002. Francis went to the University of British Columbia. Foul back. Cabrera was on the move.
Trying to stir it up early. The Blue Jays against Francis. He won't strike that many players out, so I think you can see the runners take off at first base in these types of situations. Stay out of the double play. Your percentages of the strike him out, throw him out go down.
Full count. Cabrera with a modest lead. There he goes. Pitch to Bautista is a broken bat, little tapper back to the mound. Francis goes to first. Cabrera moves up. 1 out. Jeff Francis, we mentioned, he was the ace of the staff in 2007 during the World Series year. This year's career numbers. Through 2004 through 2007, 47 and 34. Then he had shoulder surgery in 2009, and it's been a rough road for him ever since.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, I look out there and see Jeff Francis, say he's been with this club forever. And yet he's only got 7+ years in the big leagues with Colorado.
Those numbers, they don't look that different except in the win-loss column. They all look about the same. A whip of 1.4 and an ERA of 4.5 to 5.
Well, he led the Rockies in innings pitched last year with just 113 innings. That says a lot about their starting pitching a year ago.
Edwin Encarnacion goes after the first pitch. 265 on the season for Edwin. He's at first base tonight as Adam Lind is the DH. Blue Jays with a chance to score early. Cabrera at second. Driven deep to center field. On the run is Colvin. It's off the wall. Cabrera's coming around third. He's going to score. Encarnacion has a stand-up RBI double.
Well, you can't hit him much harder than that right there. That is an absolute line drive right off the center field wall.
400-foot line drive, a frozen rope to center field. Edwin got a breaking ball up, and he uncoils on that thing. He squares that thing up and hits a seed. Good job by Melky Cabrera to redouble, and a good job by DeMarlo Hale, who is coaching third base tonight, to wave him home, aggressively scoring the game's first run.
Encarnacion picks up his 56th RBI of the season. He's third in the American League in that department, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead.
Here's DeMarlo Hale, who is going to be coaching third base the next couple of days.
Luis Rivera is away for his daughter's graduation, so DeMarlo has been down at third before. He is familiar with the duties.
I was teasing him before the game. I was showing him the wave and stop all at the same time, and you said, no, Jack, it's this way. He says, I use it on my right hand for the run, and I use my left hand as a stop. He says, I don't get them together.
There he is judging it. You can see he gets down the line, and he's going to send Melky. Now he comes up to third base to give him a little voice command also.
Lynn singles into center. Encarnacion got a good break. Hale is waving him around, and he will score. Lynn picks up the RBI. The Blue Jays have matched their total run output last night. It's 2-0 in the first.
Well, after the Edwin Encarnacion double to center field, Tyler Colvin, who's playing center, backed up a couple of steps. And watch when this ball gets out there, hanging breaking ball once again, how deep Colvin is out in center field. Edwin reads it. He knows that he's playing deep, and he's going to score without a throw. Center fielder playing deep, plays it on a hop, and just, you can see it. No chance to throw out Edwin, just lobs it back into second base.
Another hit against the lefty for Adam Lind. He's 14 for 29. Mark DeRosa hammers this ball to left off the wall. Lind is headed for third. Gonzalez has a great arm. He beats the throw in there. DeRosa hammers a double off the wall down the left field line, and the Blue Jays are all over Jeff Francis here in the first.
Well, they have to mix it up a little bit, maybe throw a breaking ball in the dirt. Walt Weiss is saying, Jeff, you got to get the ball down. DeRosa all over this first pitch. He's been doing this since they put him in the starting rotation. Starting lineup, first pitch fastball all over it.
Well, the key for all three of those hits, all three of them were up in the zone, and you get a hot hitting team. Edwin's been hot all year. Adams been on fire for a while, and Mark DeRosa's smart hitter. All three of those guys getting the ball up to hit.
Blue Jays have one more hit this inning than they had in 9 innings last night. The infield is in. Rajay Davis, why not go up there hacking?
Don't you find it interesting in the first inning that the infield is playing in?
I do. But the Rockies were shut out last night on just 5 hits. But this is a tough infield to play in. Jonathan Herrera, the shortstop, has backed up a couple of steps. Lind at third, DeRosa at second. Rajay base hit to left field. Lynn's coming in to score. DeRosa's being waved in. Here's the throw. Now DeRosa stopped, and he is out. Hale waved DeRosa around third. Gonzalez has a terrific arm and made a good throw right to the cutoff man, Arenado. And DeRosa stopped and then was tagged out as he got back to third.
Yeah, Mark did not read DeMarlo Hale at all there. When he came to third base, he literally stopped at the bag. And DeMarlo was waving him in, but I think he got caught up himself and then did not get back. And there's that young Nolan Arenado, just a baseball instinct kind of guy. He almost dekes DeRosa, and then it's just a foot race, and the younger guy wins.
Johnny on the spot right there. Arenado looked like DeRosa was anticipating getting the stop sign when he was coming around third base, as he explains his case right there to Mark Burley.
And Arenado continues to impress. He's playing just his 46th big league game, and it looks like he's a 10-year veteran the way he moves around at third. So the Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead. 3 runs on 5 hits. Rajay Davis at second picks up an RBI. If Francis is going to try to shorten his lead at second. Isn't it interesting how the Blue Jays have come out smoking after being held to just 3 hits last night? That's generally the case.
I think it's a good indication of how well Jorge De La Rosa threw last night. He threw a whale of a game.
Arancibia drives it to left. This ball is off the wall. Davis is around third. He'll score. Here's the throw to second. And Arancibia slides around the second baseman, Josh Rutledge.
Well, that was a great slide by JP right there. The throw actually beat him from Gonzalez in left field. But he made the old backdoor, grabbed the base, tried to avoid the tag slide. And it scores the 4th run.
You know, a couple of things as the pitching coach, Jim Wright's going to come out early in the count once again. JP is all over this one. You were just talking about Jorge De La Rosa and how good his stuff played last night. You come back the next night after facing a guy like that and facing a pitcher that doesn't have the type of stuff like that, it's almost like batting practice for these hitters.
Yeah, you don't see the same quality pitches for sure.
You kind of wonder why they have 2 left-handers with similar type stuff. And I'm not saying Francis is anywhere near what he had. De La Rosa had the good screwball last night, the sinker down and away. But 2 left-handers, they're basically breaking ball pitchers.
Yeah, the only thing similar about those two is they throw left-handed.
Yeah.
And one guy's got a great splitter and throws 92, 93. Francis is more of a change-up curveball guy.
Meister Sturris was the hero of last night's game. He drove in the only 2 runs of the ball game. He had a pair of hits. He also broke up the no-hitter of Jorge De La Rosa with 1 out in the 6th. And he saved a run for Josh Johnson with a fine defensive play in the 5th with 2 outs, ranging behind the bag to throw out Jonathan Herrera. Ball and a strike to Meister Sturris. Downstairs. Jeff Francis, we mentioned he won his first 3 starts against the Blue Jays. He had held them to 5 earned runs in 19 innings pitched. Well, tonight he's allowed 4 earned runs in the 1st inning already. And there's another base runner at second. Esmail Rogers is enjoying what he's seen so far. Bouncing ball off the glove. Herrera at short throws his Sturris out. The inning is over. The Blue Jays sent 8 men to the plate in the 1st against Jeff Francis. Mark DeRosa drives the ball to the 4 runs on 6 hits in the first. They could have had another run, but there was a base running mistake. DeRosa stopped at third. Then he looks up and sees Marlo Hale saying, "Come on home." And by the time he gets back, Arenado tags him before he could get to third. And they talk it over in the dugout a bit.
He's saying, Carlos Gonzalez got 8 outfield assists out there. I cannot score a single to left field. And he was right.
Marlo Hale.
Can't do it when you stop, that's for sure.
Yeah, once he stopped, he was dead. He should have just stayed right there. So Ismael Rogers has a big lead here in the first. What's he got to do to maintain his focus now?
Well, that's the big key right now. You get a big lead early in a ball game. You've got to come out and try to make sure you put away that first hitter. At least throw him strikes. You got runs to work with. You don't want to walk or get behind like he has right there, 0-2 or 2-0. Make him hit the ball.
Can you go to the mound and say, and really believe it's really 0-0 when you're up 4-0?
I think you always know what the score is. I mean, if you're a baseball player, everybody knows what the score is. But you got to realize, look, I've got runs to work with right now, and therefore I do not want to walk anybody. Make them hit their way on.
I think the biggest thing a pitcher has to do is just shoot for bigger parts of the plate.
Yeah.
Instead of shooting for the outer quarter, shoot for halves. You just have that much room to work with. Michael Kadire with the check swing foul. Here he hits a ground ball, and Encarnacion took a step toward it, and what a recovery. Oh my! He took a step toward that ball as if he was going to play it, and then realized he had to hurry back. Bonifacio made a good throw. Right on the money at first, but Encarnacion did a great job.
He's playing way off the first base, and Bonifacio does him a favor by bouncing the ball to him.
That buys him a little more time.
Find the bag and then find the ball. That's what you do as a first baseman. It's a great play.
On both ends, Bonifacio knew that Edwin wasn't going to be turned around, so he bounced it to give him that little split second more. 1 out. There's that big first out of the inning.
There's that good power sinker that Ismael has basically learned 2 starts ago. And that was Pat Hankin who showed him out in the bullpen. And, you know, it's something that I remember the first time I learned my split finger forkball. And 2 starts later, I was using it in the game. And once I got it, it was like, oh boy, I have something special here. I think that's the same feeling he has with his little sinker.
There's another broken mat grounder to third. DeRosa airmails it. It's off the glove of Encarnacion. That is in the air, and I think both players were a little bit at fault. DeRosa reached back for a little extra, airmailed it. Encarnacion kind of stretched without really thinking it was going to stay up there, almost as if he said, well, I've got it, and then the ball took off on it.
Well, credit first the runner for busting it down there. That's the catcher, Willeen Rosario, taking it quickly down there. And then DeRosa gets under this one just a little bit. Marked underneath the throw, and it sails on him, and Edwin trying to go up there and keep his foot on it. That case right there, he probably would have been better off jumping up, catching it, and hoping to come down before the runner gets to the bag.
So it's an error on the third baseman, Mark DeRosa. That's his 4th error at third. Todd Helton takes one inside. Helton was 1 for 4 last night. He and Michael Kadire had back-to-back hits in the second. Was first and third, nobody out. Looked like Colorado was going to score, but Johnson stranded both base runners. Defense made a terrific play to record the first out of the inning, and then they made a bad throw on the second one to get a runner in scoring position. Well, all of a sudden, since Todd Helton stepped to the plate, strike zone got smaller.
Well, that last one was up a little bit, but I thought that one breaking ball might have caught a part of the plate. Either way, Ismael's got to figure out a way to come back.
And he does. 96 with the heater. That's a strike. The air by DeRosa was just the second air during this win streak. I mean, everything goes together, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
good pitching, timely hitting, and the defense. They all have been tightened up. Will take the walk.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers that we have seen from Esmil Rogers with the sinker usage. In April, just 4%, May, 13%. But since he has moved into the starting rotation and taught that sinker that you were talking about by Pat Henkin, it has doubled from May to June. And it's a great pitch for him. It's a pitch that he can make go opposite of his slider. That's a deadly combination.
So Rogers now with 2 aboard and 1 out. Pitch to the rookie, Nolan Arenado. Arenado had a double in last night's game. Hits this one sharply to DeRosa. Second for 1, back to first, double play. DeRosa got just exactly what he was hoping for. A chance at redemption. Rogers gets the ground ball with that sinker, and DeRosa calmly takes it to the backhand side, fires to second to start the inning-ending double play. To start the inning-ending double play, so the air had no impact. And Esmil Rogers said, "Hey man, don't worry about it. You got the double play, and we're all cool." DeRosa is hot because he went over and he said, "Hey, my bad, man. That's a terrible throw," and he let in Carlos. You'll know it. The Blue Jays have committed just 11 errors in their 33 wins, compared to 33 errors in their 36 losses. So it all goes together, and it's not an accident.
Pitching and defense. I mean, great teams through the history of baseball have been able to put together great runs.
Bounce to third. We have figured out that you can't hit it by that guy. Nolan Arenado throws out Bonifacio, 1 down.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the 2013 Honda CR-V, an IIHS top safety pick. Honda is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful evening in Toronto, and the roof is wide open at Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead.
Well, Buck, and Jack, it only took me 10 innings, but I know who Arenado reminds me of. He's Scott Rowland. It's a younger version of Scott Rowland. The way he handles himself, the way he picks it over there at third base.
Yeah, doesn't get too excited. How about Eric Chavez? Oakland, same type of soft hands, and not a real fast runner, but quick.
Quick hands, quick feet. He might not have the flair of Eric Chavez. Chavez was a dandy over there, but he's a good one.
2-1 to Melky Cabrera. Melky pulls it foul. Cabrera had a single and scored the first run of the ball game. Blue Jays sent 8 men to the plate in the first. Scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They were 4 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 2-2. Stays alive.
And how many of those were on the first pitch, too? I mean, they went up there with their hitting shoes on in the first inning, just looking for anything from Jeff Francis.
Lind had another base hit against the lefty. Cabrera cubes it off the end of the bat. Jeff Francis might be pitching for a spot in the rotation. Roy Oswalt is coming back and going to pitch for the Rockies on Thursday.
This is where you've got to take advantage of a guy. You got him for 4 in the first inning, and you just don't realize how close you are to get him out of the game.
Cabrera flies out to the center fielder Tyler Colvin. 2 down. They mentioned the 22-year-old third baseman. Last night he put on quite a show.
Great instincts at the hot corner. You can see the soft hands and the good reflexes. And then with the bat, he's got a nice level, quick swing. He's going to hit for some power. Got 5 home runs already. He's just an impressive kid at just 22 years old.
2 years ago, as a 20-year-old, he drove in 122 runs, the most in the minors.
Good job by the Rockies. Drafted him in the 2nd round and then develop him.
Bautista just missed outside the third base bank. Arenado is a 2009 draftee, so he has rocketed through their minor league system. Bautista flares this one into the seats in the 2nd deck.
Well, there's a fastball at 90 miles an hour from Francis, the hardest one he's thrown tonight.
Francis was the ace of the staff in 2007 when the Rockies made that great run in September. They won the NL West, and Francis started all 3 game 1s during the postseason. The Division Series, the ALCS, and the World Series. Only he and Reggie Cleveland have the distinction of being a Canadian that started a World Series game.
That was the year 2007 where they had to play 1 extra game, or the last game of the season.
You were there at home plate. Yep.
You were there, weren't you?
Terrific extra inning game when Matt Holliday scored from second base on a fly ball, and it was a tag play, and Tim McClellan still standing at home, and everybody assumed he was safe. That was a great game. San Diego and Colorado had to play the extra game. Game 163. Bautista out in front, but he hits it deep into left. Gonzalez has room over near the foul line. He makes the catch. The inning is over. So Francis has a bounce back 2nd inning. He sets down the Blue Jays in order. Jays have a 4-0 lead. and Major League Baseball in saluting our military heroes. Help determine which military hero will represent the Blue Jays at the 2013 MLB All-Star Game in New York. Tonight, we profile Paulo Franco of Toronto, Ontario. Paulo has served as a member of the Canadian Forces for 12 years and now serves with the Peel Regional Police Force. He received a Commander's Unit Commendation for his service in Afghanistan. The voting ends June 30th. Fans can vote at BlueJays.com. Great opportunity to send a hero to the All-Star Game, so make sure you log on and nominate your military hero. Tyler Colvin, the center fielder, trying to get something going for Colorado. Right down at the bottom of the zone, and you can see Colvin thought it was a bit low. Colvin had a tough night last night. He had 3 strikeouts and a walk.
Stay right down there. Can't get hurt.
No, all he can do is pound it into the ground. He's got excellent movement just with his regular fastball, and when he turns it over, runs down and away.
Late on that fastball. Last year, Tyler Colvin set career highs with 27 doubles. He also had 10 triples, 55 extra base hits, and he drove in a career high 72 runs. He played all 3 outfield positions for the Rockies and played first base. He strikes out. Good sinking fastball. 1 down. The Blue Jays have really turned things around since they flipped the calendar to June. You look at the June ERA. Only the Royals have a better ERA than the Blue Jays. Atlanta, who's always known for their pitching, is 3rd, but the Jays pitching, starters and relievers, have gotten off to a great start in June.
Yeah, those 2 guys right there really picked it up. Josh Johnson pitching a great game last night. Mark Burley, of course, has been pitching equally as well.
Jonathan Herrera goes after that fastball. I'm telling you what, that sinker's getting better every pitch he throws it. He's got more depth to it now.
Yep.
Every time, and this is 3 starts now that we've had a chance to watch him go out there, he looks like a starting pitcher. He looks under control. He has athleticism where he can make changes. You teach him something new and he can adapt.
Well, everybody wants to be a starting pitcher. They're the guys that drive the fancy cars and get the multi-year contracts.
Wow. Like the home run hitters?
That's it.
When did that happen?
I mean, who are we teasing here? Everybody wants to be a starter. I mean, that's where you make all your money, and that's where the game is. You've got to be a starter. Got to have good starting pitching to win. Rajay Davis on the run over in the gap. Runs it down, and Herrera is out 2 outs.
You know, I think what Esmill's really doing that I think is special, he's having fun with baseball right now. Every day he comes to the ballpark. He's one of those upbeat guys. He's in a good mood. He's very positive. And he was that way in the bullpen also. But I think now in this role, you can see he's smiling out there, enjoying what's going on in the game.
Now, oftentimes these players and even the veteran players forget that it's a pretty good opportunity to play Major League Baseball. And I think you're right. Rogers understands that. Spent parts of 4 seasons with the Colorado Rockies. He was traded from Colorado to the Cleveland Indians last June. So a lot of these guys he played with just last year.
Came here and pitched really well against the Blue Jays out of the bullpen for the Indians late last year.
Ball is driven into center field. Rajay Davis gives way to Melky Cabrera, who waves him off. A 1-2-3 third inning. Blue Jays will bat bottom of the 3rd. It'll be Edwin Encarnacion, who's already doubled tonight. Adam Lind, he too has a double in an RBI. And Mark DeRosa hit his 7th double of the season in the 1st inning. start of the season, and before the game he's having a visit with Mark Burley, and you can see how relaxed he is. But man, if you're not relaxed talking to Mark Burley, you don't understand who Burley is.
Well, I mentioned how much fun that Esmill's having, but I think Mark Burley is the epitome of that. He's always in a good mood. He's the same guy every single day, whether he's going through a tough time or a good time. And that's great to be around a teammate like that.
And when Encarnacion doubled his first time up, he scored the second run of the ball game. Ball and a strike. Another slow breaking ball. The battery has gotten together here in the dugout, and Ismail Rogers saw he had a smile for his catcher after the second out of the inning, but it seems as though they're on the same page as well.
He's just a great kid with a great personality. I think he's loving this starting job right now. You know, he was an athlete, or he is an athlete. He was a converted infielder and converted to the pitching mound, and I think he's just scratching the surface of what he could do for the Blue Jays. I really do.
I think it's another great example of how you have to be open to changes. He's even given Encarnacion a little gear for that strikeout. Everybody's relaxed.
Well, he's saying, you know, I've been getting that pitch all night.
Yeah, don't get on the umpire. Yeah. He can take it away from me.
It's good to see them laughing too, Edwin. Laughing. Usually they're not exactly happy with the umpire, but they can make fun of it with a 4-run lead.
Yeah, Ismail says, I love this umpire. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, don't get him mad. But isn't baseball funny? Did anybody see this coming back in spring training? Ismail Rogers in the starting rotation?
No,
I didn't.
Nobody did. Off the end of the bat, Lind hustling out of the box. Arenado in time on the money. 2 down.
Come find out why more Canadians trust Mr. Lube's trained technicians with their oil changes than any other quick lube. We're #1 for a reason. Take good care.
Game 2 of this 3-game set against the Colorado Rockies, and the Blue Jays won last night 2-0, and they have a 4-0 lead here tonight. This is the 14th game between these two teams, and the home team has won every game in the series. Mark DeRosa hit a double to the base of the wall in left his first time up. Ball and a strike. There's a ball that's just foul outside the foul line down the left field line. DeRosa sat back and got to that breaking ball, but just pulled it a bit too much.
Saw it right out of his hand, recognized it, didn't commit too quickly, and came oh so close to another extra base hit.
During batting practice, DeRosa just kind of walked by and quietly said, we're getting confidence.
Yeah, he told me, how about those Jays? And I told him what they needed to do.
Arenado just can't get it by him. Takes his time and fires to first. DeRosa's retired. Jeff Francis had retired the last 7 he's faced, but he still trails Rogers and the Jays 4-0. the manager, John Gibbons. And John, last night you didn't have the hit sign on very much, just 3 hits in the game, but tonight you flashed it early.
Yeah, last night we wanted to give the fans a little more of a thrill, but it's still early night. Yeah, Francis has settled in a little bit the last couple innings, getting his breaking ball over and some change-ups. But we came out of the gate swinging. He was leaving some balls up, and we were taking advantage of it.
If you talk about the starting pitchers, there seems like the worm has turned, and these guys are starting to get it dialed in.
Yeah, Jack, they really are. And that's you know as well as anybody. That's the key to baseball is the effort you get on the mound that night, and they've been doing a tremendous job, giving us a shot to win, and really some dominating outings.
Gibby, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
That's John Gibbons, the manager, with his thoughts on this ball game so far. And you're right. There's one thing that always stands out: the team that dominates from the starting pitching standpoint is going to be somewhere near the hunt at the end of the year. This is popped back over the screen, out of play.
Well, it's funny how opportunity can present itself. Brandon Morrow was sent out in rehab, and he had a little setback last night, which could send it longer. But Esmil Rogers gets the chance to pitch. Jay Happ on the DL. And here he is, and all of a sudden, he might create a logjam when Brandon or Jay gets ready to come back off.
Jordan Pacheco hits it to third. DeRosa on the money this time. 1 down. Fans, if you want your baseball questions answered by our team of experts, email asktheexperts@sportsnet.ca and keep your eye out for the home hardware Ask the Experts segment later on in the game.
Those are the good problems that general managers want to have right there, what you were just talking about. Jay Happ got to throw today. Throw a side session today for the first time, which is good.
Yeah, he's going to advance from throwing on the side to live batting practice, simulated game, so he's still a ways away yet.
Yeah, John Gibbons was pretty much putting in perspective. He says, like, Jays almost have to go through spring training all over again. And there's Ching-Ming Wong, who has also done a great job in his 2 outings for the Blue Jays.
Well, they talked about building up some depth in the starting rotation for about 2 years.
Carlos Gonzalez flies the ball toward left. Melky Cabrera is there, 2 outs.
And having someone come out of the bullpen like Esmil Rogers, that's going to help you build some depth quickly.
Well, I tell you what, he is a different pitcher as a starter than he is as a reliever. He's got confidence. He has shown that he can adapt. He's picked up sinking fastball.
You know, Buck, you said it in the last start. He's got swagger. And that's a good thing for a starter. You've got to believe. I remember coming over to 2 different teams as a veteran and talking to some of the younger pitchers, and I tried to tell them, look, when you take the mound, you're King Kong. It is yours. That piece of dirt is yours, and you own it. And I did it in a positive way, trying to make sure that they didn't have any negative thoughts. I think Esmil is buying into that himself, and it radiates. You can see that he's enjoying this.
Ball and a strike, 2 outs. I think, too, what he's done is he was open to adding the sinking fastball. A lot of guys come up here, and they don't want to make any changes. Hey, I got here with this stuff. Well, you got to adjust. These are the best guys that you're ever going to face right here in the big leagues, and Kadire gets jammed with that sinker.
And that's a ball that he didn't have in the first month of the season. And what are you going to do? You're going to leave it out of the plate. Michael Kadire could crush that ball out of the plate. But the fact that it's running in and getting in on his hands, not much any hitter can do when it's tailing in on your hands.
A 2-2 count to Michael Kadire.
You know, Buck, you said something interesting about up here in the big leagues. These are the best hitters you're going to face. You got the best coaches, too, right here. Pat Henkin, Pete Walker. You can't have any better coaches to help you with your pitches.
Pat Henkin won a Cy Young.
He knows a little bit about that game.
When he speaks, I'm sitting down taking notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to rebuff his suggestions. And Rogers didn't. He was wise enough to say, okay, show me that. And the sinking fastball was a pitch that Henkin saw Scott Erickson threw. They were teammates in Baltimore. Kadire lifts a fly ball into center. Rajay Davis ranging in. He gets there, and another good inning for Esmil Rogers. We played 3.5 here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays have a comfortable lead. the new BlackBerry Z10 and Q10, built to keep you moving.
We talked about the Blue Jays getting hot and trying to make up some games in the standings, and they've done just that. Since June the 4th, their 9-2 record, they've gained 3 games on Baltimore, Boston, New York. Tampa Bay lost again today to the Red Sox, and they picked up 5 games on Tampa Bay. Get to 500 and then go from there.
Blue Jays will go back into the American League East beginning Friday. The Baltimore Orioles will be here at Rogers Center for a 3-game set. Then it's off to St. Petersburg to take on Tampa Bay, and up to Boston for a 4-game series at Fenway. Rajai Davis picked up an RBI on a single in the first. He also scored the 4th run of the inning.
You know, put it in his perspective, not just those numbers of how they've gained ground in the East. They'll be battling them head to head, and that's where they really have to make up ground.
Davis gets underneath it and drives it into center. Tyler Colvin called for it. Gonzalez peeled out of the way, but he trips over Colvin. He seemed to be all right. Left fielder has to give way to center fielder, and he has priority.
Get back to my point, though, the fact that they played the way they've played here in the last week and a half and rattled off a 6-game, maybe even a 7-game win streak here tonight, is it's given the team the kind of confidence they have not had. There's a lot of new faces coming together, and all of a sudden they are literally coming together as a team. And we've all been through that before. We understand the dynamics of what that means, but when you start believing that you're better than the team across the diamond, and you start playing that way, it's a big plus.
J.P. Arancibia grounds out to second, 2 down, and Jeff Francis is on quite a roll here. That's 9 in a row retired by Jeff Francis, but you wonder if it might be too little too late. He gave up a 4 spot in the first.
Well, Blue Jays are hoping that, but you got to add on. I agree with what you're saying, that the guys are starting to believe in it. And they're getting the great starting pitching, and they're getting hot right when they're heading back into the East. That's when you want to be playing your best baseball.
Meiser Asturias bounces the ball in front of home plate. Rutledge makes a quick throw. Another good inning for Jeff Francis. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the BlackBerry broadcast studio. Cup. This is a highly anticipated tune-up event for next year's World Cup. Tomorrow, Sportsnet World has Brazil, Mexico, followed by Italy, Japan. Visit sportsnet.ca/world for details on how to subscribe. Great soccer action on Sportsnet World. Good crowd on hand here at Rogers Center. Last night, 20,946 on hand. Looks like there might be a little bit better crowd tonight. The catcher, number 5 hitter, William Rosario, he reached on the DeRosa air in the second. Rosario in his first full season with the Rockies. Well, he had a great year last year, 28 home runs. Breaking ball for a strike. That pitch right there really explains how confident Rogers is.
Well, he threw the same pitch in the first pitch, but he rushed. His lower body got out in front, and he adjusted quickly. And then he pounds that sinker down and in. And man, when he starts getting confidence in that, it's going to be fun to watch, because it's a pitch that's going to be real tough on right-handers.
He's ahead of Rosario, 1-2. Strike 3 call. Boy, now you start exploiting both sides of the plate, and it's really going to compound the situation for the hitters.
And just froze him with the outer half fastball, and that is open because of that sinker down and in. He just freezes.
So one down here in the 5th. Todd Helton looked back at Phil Cuzzy, and Cuzzy's got to be thinking, hey, it's been a strike all night. Same spot, same result.
Yeah, it's not where he catches it, it's where it goes over the plate, and that ball is really diving as it comes across the plate.
Helton saying, who are you out there? I know I played with you, but you're not the same pitcher. .95, he went with the 2-seamer, 4-seamer, and tried to catch that outside corner and missed. Encarnacion, a nice play, a little shovel toss, and Helton is retired. Encarnacion takes one away from Todd Helton.
Works to perfection. The PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. Ball hits to the right side. Get off that mound. Get over there, become the first baseman. Edwin showing off his athleticism, making the play.
Well, Esmel Rogers wasn't involved in it, but today the pitchers came out early to practice some of those kind of drills, and that's always good to see. But defense gets sharper when pitching is always in front of the hitters.
Nolan Arenado takes the first pitch strike, and it's a terrific defensive play. Not only the glove, but to get to his feet so quickly. Easy play.
Now you're taught to get to the ball, the pitcher, as quickly as you can so that he can find the bag in his steps.
Rogers, in baseball terminology, is filthy tonight. The sink is dramatic, the break is wicked. He's ahead of Arenado, 0-2.
We're going to see all the pitchers out around 3 o'clock this afternoon, taking what they call PFP, pitchers fielding practice, covering first base in this particular drill.
They did bunt plays. They did comebacker starting the 1-6-3 double play. They did covering first, bunts to third.
Strike 3 call. Ismael Rogers, 2 strikeouts in the inning. He is locked in. He drops the breaking ball on Nolan Arenado. 4 strikeouts for Rogers through 5. Arencibia working with Esmail Rogers, and certainly in this relationship, Arencibia has the upper hand in experience, and he has taken a leadership role. They seem to be working very well. Emilio Bonifacio, the second baseman, grounded out to third his first time up. Jeff Francis has retired 10 straight. JP Arencibia doubled with 2 outs in the first inning, and that's the last base runner to reach. Curveball missed the outside corner.
Well, this would be a nice candidate to get on the bases right here. Emilio Bonifacio. He's got some power. Just hasn't shown it from the right side. They've been working hard with him, trying to keep his hands up. He has a tendency to drop them and then swing right over the top of those pitches.
Both he and Meister Astores are much more comfortable now as they've had some time to play on this artificial surface. It's really been a challenge for them as they're both playing on artificial surface for the first time as a home field, and Meister looks much different now than he did in April.
So does Emilio Bonifacio. We had a chance to talk to him before the game. He said, you know, I just didn't play that many games at second base last year, and certainly didn't play on the turf.
Strike 3 count. Bonifacio strikes out. 1 down.
Have you voted in the Kit Kat Chunky Challenge? Try all 3 new flavors today and cast your vote on Facebook for a chance to win some big chunky prizes.
Melky Cabrera has got 1 for 2 already tonight. We are in the 5th inning. Blue Jays have a 4-run lead. Cabrera drives this ball to right. It's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Michael Kadyr's got a strong arm, and Melky Cabrera knew it. He made a turn, and he was thinking 2 all the way. He had his head up. He saw the throw was on line, so he shut her down and settles for a single.
Strong arm and an accurate arm, too.
Yeah, and he really takes pride in learning the art of reading the ball off the wall. He's played primarily right field over the last few years and exclusively for Colorado, but he gets a hop right back at him. It ricochets off a seam there, and that's about all Melky wants is a single out of that one.
That throw was right on the money. 1 hop to second. Jose Bautista takes the breaking ball inside.
Yeah, that's the old I know who is out there in right field. Know yourself. He's thinking 2. Hits the bag and say, plays right in front of you. Certainly don't want to be running into outs with Bautista and Encarnacion coming up.
Just kidding, Michael. Just kidding. I'm going back to first. Bautista, he is grounded out and flied out. 15 homers and 37 driven in for the Blue Jays right fielder. Be back in right after spending a couple of days in the DH spot. Pops this one up, headed back toward the seats. Rosario gives it a look, but it's well out of play. Bautista tied with Mark Trumbo with 15 home runs. Davis leads the American League. He had another home run last night in Detroit off Max Scherzer, his 24th. He's got a 5-homer lead over Miguel Cabrera, who also homered in that game in Detroit. Cabrera has 71 RBIs. Chris Davis 61. Encarnacion with an RBI tonight has 56. He's 3rd in the American League. This is popped up. Rosario takes his mask off and makes the catch in foul ground. Willeen Rosario has a experienced backup catcher in Yorvit Torrealba who sometimes gets bored when he's not playing. So he grabbed the scouting report from the catching coach, Jerry Weinstein. And Weinstein was looking for the report. Torrealba got a kick out of that. Said, my coach didn't know where the report was. He said, hey, that's a very valuable piece of paper you're messing with right there.
No.
That will cost you.
2 down, and Encarnacion takes one inside. Number 19.
You know, you could watch the at-bats of both Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion. You can see they were measuring that breaking ball from Jeff Francis, who was just missing off the plate. And I think it was just a matter of time before one of them got one over the middle of the plate, and they're going to hit it hard. There it comes in right where Edwin likes it, head down, and he just powers it into the bullpen for the home run with a short, strong swing.
Strong being the key word. Edwin is so strong. And those are 2 absolute line drives that he's hit in this game. They got out of here. That one got out of here in a hurry. The other one's off the center field wall in his first at bat.
Hit a double his first time up. He's driven in 3. He has now tied Miguel Cabrera for second in the American League with 19 home runs.
Watch it one more time. Off speed pitch, and he hits it hard. Mark DeRosa was around the batting cage today admiring the strength of Edwin.
Francis reaches for it, and Linda's retired. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays extend their lead to 6-0. We're headed for the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Netra. Home Hardware's exclusive line and safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Our guest of TD. Enjoy the evening, and the Blue Jays have a big lead. And over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are some very special guests from Camp Aaron. Welcome to the ballpark, and you are bringing us good luck tonight. Esmil Rogers, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, no hits through 59 pitches. Ground ball, shortstop, Isturiz backhands in time. Carter Colvin is retired.
One pitch, one out. It doesn't get any better than that. S. Mills' pitch count in great shape at 60 pitches through 5 1/3.
Yes. Throw that two-seamer up there, let them hit it into the ground, and let the defense do their thing.
Rogers has thrown 12 pitches in the first, second, third, and fifth. He threw 10 pitches in the fourth. I mean, you talk about economical. They told him, hey, you know what? We're going to count your pitches. He says, okay, I'm not going to throw many.
Smart kid.
You can count them all you want.
I asked him how he felt after the last game. And he said he felt strong. He threw 93 pitches. He said I could have easily gone to 110, but they wanted to take me out. He keeps throwing the way he is tonight. He's going to be able to go 9.
Rogers made a career-high 13 starts for Colorado in 2011. He was just 25 years old. He has had a 6-6 record, but more importantly, he had a 7.05 ERA. That was in 2011 while he was with the Rockies. Herrera gets the first hit for Colorado, a single into center. Rajai Davis over to cut it off. A one-out single, and that's the first hit of the ball game for Colorado.
Well, the crowd acknowledging what S. Miller is doing in this game, and it's been special. That actually was probably one of the few mistakes he's made in the game. A fastball that stayed up, and Herrera just jumps on top of it.
Yeah, behind in the count, he's hunting a fastball and gets it.
Back to the top of the order, second baseman Josh Rutledge takes the first pitch strike. Well, that was the problem that Rogers had with the number 9 hitter. He fell behind. He's been ahead all night long. He's thrown 11 of 19 first pitch strikes. First or second pitch, he's been in that zone, and that creates a swing mindset with the hitters. Ball on a strike. Inside off the plate. We mentioned Rogers spent parts of 4 seasons with the Colorado Rockies. 2009 through 2012. His ERA was over 6.5, and since he's moved on to the Indians and here to Toronto, has dramatically improved his ERA.
Yeah, the one thing that I can try to guess is he's out of Colorado, the Mile High City. It's a place that's tough to pitch, and I know they use the balls in the humidor now, but it's still tough.
Takes a little something away from your breaking ball. But when I watched some of his games when he was with Colorado, his fastball was straight. I mean, it was right over the top. It was straight. He couldn't command it, couldn't control it. And he has fallen behind again here.
3-1 to Rutledge. Full count. Blue Jays have turned a double play behind Ismael Rogers. It came in the second inning, a 5-4-3 double play that ended the second. Jordan Pacheco is 0 for 2. He's on deck. Cut on and miss. Rutledge strikes out.
Good comeback right there. Falling behind and able to command the fastball on the 3-1 pitch and get it to move on the 3-2 pitch.
Look at the spin of that baseball. You create that type of spin, and then you start getting that kind of movement. You're going to get that ball right under the bat.
Jordan Pacheco is the DH tonight. He's a first baseman catcher. He was drafted out of the University of New Mexico in 2007 in the 9th round. Last year, he hit .309, 5th in the National League. Bounces this ball up the third baseline. That's a foul ball. It's significant because as a rookie, he was the first rookie to make the top 5 in the National League since 1974. And in 74, there were a pair of rookies that hit in the top 5, Greg Gross of the Astros and Bill Madlock of the Cubs. So it's a pretty significant accomplishment for Jordan Pacheco.
Not a lot of power. Sprays the ball all over the field. He's got a nice little short swing. There's 5 home runs last year and those 475 at bats.
He's behind 0-2 and steps up. Top of the 6th inning. Inside. Esmail Rogers lost his no-hitter with a 1-out single to Jonathan Herrera. He's still at first. Line to the second baseman. The inning is over. Esmail Rogers has 1 hit to Rockies through 6. He's struck out 5. He gets Rutledge on a good sinking fastball. In Major League Baseball in saluting our military heroes. Help determine which military hero will represent the Blue Jays at the 2013 All-Star Game in New York. Help recognize people like Nicholas Kerr of Victoria, BC. Nicholas was a member of the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry serving in Afghanistan. He now volunteers with community and veterans groups and is a member of the Wilderness Rescue Team. The voting ends June 30th. Fans can vote at BlueJays.com. Bottom of the 6th, Mark DeRosa will start things off. Cuts on the fastball. It's a ball and a strike. Blue Jays scored 2 runs on 3 hits in last night's win. They shut out Colorado 2-0. DeRosa swings right through that pitch.
And the location right there. Jeff Francis on that fastball is getting better. He's able to paint on the outside corner.
DeRosa drives this ball to right. Kadire on the move, on the track, makes the catch. Esmail Rogers has faced his former club for the first time, and he's made a positive impression.
Well, he's dominated this game tonight. Only 1 hit. He's got the sinker working. He's got the good hard slider working. He's throwing the fastball in and out. It's just working. Everything's working.
Yeah, I think that's the key for him, that he's been able to go both sides of the plate with his fastball. Right-handers, he's been able to pound in and then go away if he needs to. Same thing with the left-handers. I mean, that sinker really plays into the lefties down and away.
What he has done is he's commanded both sides of the plate. And anytime you can do that and put both sides of the plate in a hitter's mind, you're going to have success.
No question. For me, it always starts on the inner half. If you can start there, then you get the outer half as the game goes on.
Ball and a strike. Rajay Davis lays off that pitch. We mentioned Rogers grew up in the Rockies organization. This has to be somewhat satisfying, although I'm sure he will enjoy the satisfaction when the game is over. Right now, he's got his mind set on pitching.
No, I think he's enjoying this. Anytime you go against your former team, you want to show that they made a mistake. You want to show them that you should have held on to me. I'm going to just pitch my best game of the season.
Davis waits on the curveball, hits it to the shortstop. Herrera unloads in a hurry. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Zach Britton, up from the minor leagues, has held the Tigers to just 3 hits through 4 innings. Verlander, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks. And there's a drive to left. Arancibia has just left the yard. J.P. Arancibia, a 2-out home run, his 15th of the season.
Well, he's starting to get that home run swing back, and he's not forcing it. That's the thing that I see with JP over the last couple of days. He's not forcing the ball out of the ballpark and swinging wildly. It's a controlled swing. Watch this pitch from Francis, inner half. That doesn't take a lot of muscle right there if you just use your hands the way he is, staying inside the ball. That's what they're working on, and that ball is in the second deck.
Meister swings on that pitch outside.
Home runs are a byproduct of a good swing, and Chad Mottola and JP Arancibia have been working together ever since that day in Chicago where JP really struggled against the White Sox.
There's a drive to left off the bat of Izturis. Back-to-back home runs. Meister Izturis, his 4th of the season.
Well, they're having a little bit of fun with the bats in their hands tonight. 8 runs. And in the middle of all that, Jeff Francis has pitched a pretty decent game, but the home runs have killed him. In the 5th inning, and here 2 in the 6th inning.
Meister with his 4th home run, his first batting right-handed.
Up the middle. Bonifacio down the line, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays get a pair of 2-out home runs. J.P. Arancibia hits the first of 2, his 15th. It's 8-0 Blue Jays. and the Tigers will hook up. It all starts at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sportsnet. Pacific West, Ontario, and East. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. The Orioles and the Tigers. In that game, it'll be Chris Tillman against Rick Porcello, the pitching matchup. We're into the 7th. Ismael Rogers is shutting out the Rockies on 1 hit. It'll be Gonzalez, Kadire, and Rosario. 3, 4, and 5 in the Rockies batting order. Two and 0. A big baseball fan in attendance, Geddy Lee. We want to congratulate him again for his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Geddy Lee is a big Blue Jays fan. And we have mentioned the fact that he made a huge donation to the Negro League Baseball Museum in Kansas City. Over 200 baseballs Geddy Lee donated to the Negro League Baseball Museum of signed baseballs from Negro League players. It was quite an honor, and they were thrilled to have it.
Yeah, that was a really cool display. We got a chance to see that when we were in Kansas City, when you and I toured the complex.
Gonzalez drives this ball down the left side. Long run for Cabrera. He can't get there, and that'll bounce out of play for a ground rule double. Leadoff double for Gonzalez. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Tampa Bay breaking out one of their new players. Will Myers is 1 for 1 in game 2. The focal point of that trade with Kansas City. James Shields and Wade Davis went to Kansas City, and basically it was for Odorizzi and Will Myers. Michael Kadire singles to left. Gonzalez stops at third, so a double and a single here in the 7th.
We've been talking about the pitching of the Blue Jays and how well they have pitched. There was a 21 straight inning, consecutive scoreless innings thrown up by the Blue Jays at Texas. Remember the Nelson Cruz home run, then 21 straight innings. They also then set out, and if there wasn't that 200 runs in the 9th inning at the Rangers, they were shutting out the Rangers there the other day. 200 runs after an error. Then they shut out the Rockies yesterday, and they've shut them out again here tonight for 6 innings. They have been throwing up a ton of zeros lately.
Wilin Rosario, the catcher, takes one downstairs. Michael Kadire with that single has extended his hit streak to a career high 16 games.
Well, he hunted that fastball, and he got one right out over the plate there. Very, very good fastball hitter.
There's a base hit to left field. That will get the Rockies on the board. Wilin Rosario got a pitch up in the zone and hammered it to left. His 36th RBI of the season, and Colorado is on the board. So Pete Walker's going to go to the mound, and the bullpen is starting to move around for the Jays.
Well, 3 pitches that were up in the zone. Really, the double by Gonzalez was a ball that hung up, and if it wasn't for the slow legs of Melky, I think a lot of left fielders would have caught that, but it is what it is, and he ends up scoring the first run. And I know Pete's going to just tell him, hey, regroup here. Let's get back to getting the ball down. That Aaron Loop is up and throwing. And this is the kind of game, guys, that I know sometimes I talk like I'm a dinosaur, but in the pre-pitch count era, you got 8 runs to work with. And you're into the 6th inning, 7th inning. You kind of look out to the bullpen and you say to yourself, you've got a night off, guys. I'll handle it from here. And really, Ismael Rogers' pitch count is in great shape. It's just that he gave up 3 quick hits here. He's trying to try to work himself out of this. But this is the challenging part of a ball game. Things are great when you're cruising along, but when adversity comes up, how quickly can you regroup? We'll see what he can do here.
I think that's a great point, and obviously your focus was as a member of a team.
Right.
And you were thinking, okay, if I can complete this game, I'll give my bullpen a night off. I mean, obviously, nobody can predict what's going to happen tomorrow and after the off day over the weekend. John Gibbons doesn't know. He might need every arm down in his bullpen the next couple of starts. You've got a cushion right here. So I agree with you 100%.
I'm laughing. They might play 18 innings again one of these days.
Don't even go there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Point taken about
Sure.
what you were saying. And a couple of thoughts from my end. It's the third time through. Third time that the Rockies have seen Rogers now. There was a line drive right at the second baseman to end the 6th inning, and then 3 hard hit balls here. Looks like he's getting a little bit on the side of the ball. He's not driving it down. The ball's getting underneath it a little bit. And the sinker doesn't have the sink that we saw early in this ball game. Gotta just stay on top of it just a little bit more.
2-1 to Helton. Upstairs.
Well, and Tabby, that's back to my point. I think you learn the most deeper in games. And you have to get through that third and fourth at bat to really understand pitching and what you are doing early in a ball game, why you pitch balls in early in a game to see if a guy can handle it and try to save something for deeper in the game.
On the ground. Bonifacio will go to first and throw out Helton. The runners move up. That's the first out of the inning. Kadire moves to third. Rosario moves into second. Jack, your point about learning. I mean, obviously, Rogers was dealing. He could close his eyes and throw a strike with anything really in this game. Well, now it's a different story.
And that's my whole point. Everything was going good. And then all of a sudden, there's a mental lapse or there's a longer inning. And you come back out there, and there's no question. Your body is going through something different. And the guys that can adjust the quickest from a ball that's elevated or a ball that you leave out over the plate and get back into that rhythm that you had when things were going well, those are the guys that are going to go deeper into ball games.
He gave him 7 innings his last time out. That was against the Rangers. This third time through in that game, he threw more breaking balls. More curveballs, more slow breaking balls. There's 2 more.
Arenado grounds it to Encarnacion. Rogers makes a good play. You better turn around. There's a guy at third.
They have to do more PFP.
2 outs. Rogers customers can watch every Blue Jays game this season on Sportsnet live on your smartphone. Visit RogersAnyPlaceTV.com/sports to get started. Yeah, Ismael Rogers just kind of looked away, but the catcher was running from second and third, and now John Gibbons has come out of the dugout, and he's got purpose to his walk. He is going to make a pitching change here. Ismael Rogers will come out of the game in the 7th inning with 2 outs. Rogers in line for the win. We'll turn things over to the bullpen. Pat on the back from the manager and a nice round of applause.
A very deserving round of applause right there.
Rogers is out, Aaron Luke is in. Blue Jays up 8-2. His pitching coach. Rogers goes 4 2/3, allows just 4 hits, 2 runs so far. The runner at third is his responsibility, but he leaves in line for the win and turn things over to Aaron Loup, the lefty.
This is all about John Gibbons wanting to save that run over there at third base. Loup versus left-handers, just 213. No home runs, and more importantly, leadoff men retired 71% of the time. He sets them down, which is the 4th best of the relievers. Casey Janssen, of course, the best at 90% of first batter retired.
When you have that kind of record, managers are very comfortable bringing you in with 2 outs and a runner on. Holden gets jammed, and DeRosa can't get there, and he breaks his bat.
I'm not sure he got all of that one. But it sure made me smile.
You love that, don't you?
I think it's better than 10 strikeouts. You get a bat, pretty much emphasizes where that pitch was. You can't hit a ball off your hands.
Well, you can, but it's not going to go very far.
And it hurts. It makes hitters aware of the inside part of the plate. Came right back in there. He wanted another bat. Kawasaki and Rogers having a good time on the bench, and you know what they were talking about. Man, he got so deep in his kitchen he broke that bat in 6 places.
Time to drop that curveball, isn't it?
Bouncing ball under the glove of Isturiz in the left field. Isturiz tried to backhand it. Ball stayed down on him and got under the glove. It's an error on the shortstop. No RBI for Colvin.
Yeah, it comes up with it. He's going to get him over at first base. But the ball didn't come up for him. Go over there. You can see it. That last ball, it hit the turf and stayed down on Meiser.
So that finishes the book on Rogers. He is charged with 3 runs in 6 2/3.
Yeah, and because of the error there, it'll only be 2 earned runs.
See, Rogers is having a conversation with a teammate across the diamond. Jonathan Herrera, switch hitter, went back to get his right-handed helmet, and he flies out on the first pitch to end the inning. Colorado scores 3, but the Blue Jays have an 8-3 lead. When we come back, it'll be the top of the order. Melky Cabrera is 2 for 2. He scored a pair of runs. Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion, a double, a home run, 3 RBIs so far tonight. Honda CRV, an IIHF's top safety pick. Honda is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
He hits a lot of them. Here's number 19, breaking ball, and Edwin crushes it on a line of the back wall in the bullpen. 3 more RBIs tonight for Encarnacion. He also smoked the ball to center field with that home run. Our drive of the game.
Manuel Corpus in for the 6th time this season. He was a former closer for Colorado. He has gone through Tommy John surgery. He missed the entire 2011 season, so he's working his way back into form.
Yeah, he was a closer in 2007 for the Colorado Rockies. Fastball 90-92, slider, which is pretty decent, but he's not the same pitcher as he was when he closed.
You saw Jeff Francis on the Rockies bench. He had a tough start. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits in the first, and would later on give up 3 home runs. He finishes with 8 runs on 10 hits given up. That jumps his ERA to 6.58. And the Rockies got to find a spot for Roy Oswalt, who's going to start on Thursday.
And they head down to Washington. And rumors are that Roy Oswalt's going to throw Thursday.
The Rockies go from here to Washington and take on the Nationals for a 3-game series, and then they go into Boston to play the Red Sox. That's Jim Wright to the right of Walter Weiss, who's the manager in his first year. Tom Reynolds on the right of your screen, former Montreal manager, is the bench coach in his 4th season with Colorado. Cabrera fouls it back over the screen. Melky Cabrera has singled twice and scored a pair. 2 for 3, and he's bumped his average up 5 points with that 2-hit effort. Cabrera strikes out. That the first out of the 7th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Beautiful shot of Toronto. CN Tower high above Rogers Center on the shores of Lake Ontario. And the Blue Jays trying to win their 7th straight ball game. Boy, oh boy, how quickly things turn around. Blue Jays looking for their first 7-game win streak since 2008. And they won 10 games during that 7-game stretch. The Blue Jays would love to continue this ride.
5 years ago, huh? Part of a 10-game winning streak.
Well, this is the time of a ball game that you really have to grind it out and make sure that it ends up the way it should. If you're the Blue Jays, you've got to win this game. You can't let this one slip away.
Well, you saw Kobe Rasmus and John Gibbons was pointing to the lineup, and they're probably going to make a defensive change here and get Rasmus into the game, put Rajai Davis over and left for Melky Cabrera. Gibbons has been pretty consistent in getting Cabrera out of the game for defense late with the lead.
You know, there's also 2 arguments about, and we do live in the pitch count era, so it does change the dynamics, but he's got left-hander Darren Oliver up in the pen right now. It looks like he's going to be coming in to pitch the 8th inning. And when your bullpen has done the job that it's done, it's really important that you keep them fresh, that they get their work in, albeit not stretched out as long. You don't want guys to have to pitch 4 innings out of the bullpen, but get them a couple outs or an inning. That's just what you want.
Isn't it funny how that works? Early on, the bullpen was pitching way too much.
Yep.
And they were close to getting tired. Now the starters are pitching so well, the bullpen can't get any work. It's a real challenge for a pitching coach. Pete Walker, in his first year as the big league pitching coach, he's got to sit down every day and map out the strategy to keep everybody fresh. Bautista skies it to center. Tyler Colvin waits on, makes the catch, 2 outs.
You know, with all of that said, I think they'd rather have it this way right here.
Yeah, this is the way it's designed.
Yeah, starters go deeper, and the bullpen. You don't keep the guys fresh, and that's a good thing sometimes.
Well, it's going to be interesting when Jose Reyes comes back, and I still say he's going to be back within a week. And then they're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to stay with 3 extra men, or do you want to get down to 7 relievers?
Well, ultimately, we can all take our guess as to what they'll do, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's no reason to speculate, but they have 4 righties and 4 lefties in the bullpen. And they have 3 bench players.
You know what else they're doing is they're heading into the American League East. Back in the East against Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Boston, teams that can really hit. They might want to keep all of those relievers.
There's your bullpen pitchers right there.
I tell you what, right now, this is the best bullpen in the American League.
It's good.
With the depth they have and 4 quality left-handers, nobody else can boast that. And the emergence of Steve Delabar and the development of Brett Cecil as a reliever. Of course, Casey Janssen has recaptured his form from a year ago after some concerns with off-season shoulder surgery. And Neil Wagner's helped.
Wanted to go back to the shot of the pen. The best arm in that bullpen might be the guy that was standing in front. He's still not in the picture there. It's Figueroa. Figgy's been around since I was here, and he's still throwing great batting practice.
Yeah, he throws about 100 pitches every day.
That's durable.
2-2 to Edwin Encarnacion. Bounced up the third base line. Arenado bottles it. During the transfer, Nolan Arenado bobbled the ball. Going to be an interesting scoring decision. He was going to have to make a quick play. He was deep in third and had a long run to come and get it.
50-50. He has shown great reflexes and great reactions down at third base, but just can't come up with it. And here at home, Edwin doesn't get the break.
They give him an air, and I agree with you. The advantage you would think would go to the home hitter, but that's not the case. Arenado is charged with his 3rd error. Adam Lind had an RBI single in that 4-run first inning. He now has driven in 25 for the season. Lind takes that strike reluctantly. It looks like it's well off the plate, but it's a ball and a strike. But I think his approach now is, hey, umpires, they're just like players. We don't catch every ball and we don't hit every pitch. The umpires don't get every call right. So what are you going to do about it?
And showing no emotion there. All right. 2-1 now. I'm okay. That's a sign of a very confident hitter.
2 balls and a strike to Adam Lind. 2 outs. Goes after that outside pitch. They're working Lind away, and that might play right into his hand. We haven't really seen Lind have any trouble with anything away. Generally, when he has problems is when they run that ball up and in.
They're going to try it right here.
He got a good pitch to hit and cuts right through it. The inning is over. Blue Jays get a base runner but leave one. Darren Oliver into the game, and they've had plenty of run support. Edwin Encarnacion, his 19th homer in the 5th. Aaron Seabier, his 15th in the 6th. And his Stores back-to-back in the 6th. First time the Jays have gone back-to-back this year. season. Aaron Loup pitched 1/3 of an inning. He closed out the 7th. Now it's over to Oliver.
Off the DL and now pitching like a veteran he is, just like he did last year. A couple of changes defensively for the Blue Jays.
Meister Esteves goes from short to second. Kawasaki comes off the bench to take over at short, and Bonifacio goes to short. Nice play by De Rosa. In plenty of time, Josh Rutledge is retired. First out of the 8th.
Well, we got to put a little star next to that play right there. De Rosa showing some soft hands. Watch him play this ball. Backs up on it just a little bit and then plays the in-between hop. Keep that glove down, work it up, and finish the play.
Another thing he did, he watched that ball right into his glove. Played it off to the side, had a good angle. He committed an error, a throwing error in the 2nd. But then started an inning-ending double play in that same 2nd inning. Jordan Pacheco, the DH, has got 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
You know, and if there is a calming force amongst the locker room, it's Mark De Rosa. Here's a guy that's the veteran player, comes in, and I think a lot of younger players have gravitated towards him. He's the coach that doesn't have that title, and he's done a great job wherever he plays.
He's got that East Coast savvy as well. He's from New Jersey, and he's got that Jersey accent. He talks to you out of the side.
A little
of his
funny.
mouth.
Yeah, it's a little funny. We can say that.
But he is all about baseball.
What did he say today? Here come the Jays.
Yeah.
Watch out for the Jays.
Rutledge strikes out for a 2nd time. Oliver paints the outside corner.
Well, nothing that Pacheco could do right there. That's a paint job right there by the veteran Darren Oliver. Reads bats and paints it down and away. Good job by Aaron Sebia again to frame that ball and keep it right there.
Jordan Pacheco 0 for 4. Now Carlos Gonzalez had a ground rule double and scored the first Rockies run back in the 7th. Good numbers across the board for Gonzalez. 3-11-20 and 56. Kawasaki puts it on the line. An easy inning for Darren Oliver. We'll go to bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays lead it 8-3. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Monday, July 1st, the Blue Jays will take on the Detroit Tigers. 1:07 start. Come down early and enjoy the pregame festivities outside Rogers Center. The first 20,000 fans into Rogers Center will receive a Blue Jays replica red baseball cap. Come celebrate Canada's birthday. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com to order your tickets for Canada Day or stop by Rogers Plus locations. New pitcher in for the Rockies is the right-hander Wilton Lopez.
He has been used a lot now, second in the National League with those 37 games, 1-3, 425 earned run average. Good command, average fastball, sliders decent, a little bit of a changeup. Ground ball pitcher when he is on.
DeRosa drives this to right. Kadire over in the corner makes the grab. One down. What a beautiful night at Rogers Center. Cool evening. Not a cloud in the sky, and the Blue Jays are enjoying an 8-3 lead. Trying to make it 2 in a row against the Rockies and stretch their win streak to 7 straight. Rajay Davis had an RBI single and scored a run in the first. Blue Jays scored 4 runs on 6 hits in the first against Jeff Francis. When Francis settled down, eventually would retire 11 in a row, but then the Blue Jays got to him for 3 home runs later on in the game. Encarnacion, Aaron Sebia, and Meiser Sturis all with homers tonight. Bouncing ball. Rutledge gets a big hop, unloads in a hurry to throw out Davis. In the current issue of Sportsnet magazine, we explain why it's been 20 years since the Cub came home to Canada, and we'll tell you who's the most likely to break the drought. Subscribe to sportsnet.ca/magazine to read all about it. It has been America's Cup and will be again this year. Boston up 2-1 over the Blackhawks. Boy, they've been good games, every one of them. J.P. Aronseeby's had a good night at the plate. A couple of extra base hits and an RBI double in the first and a home run in the 6th. J.P.'s now driven in 35 for the season. Pops this one up over near the Rockies dugout, and it'll be back out of play.
Isn't it funny how it comes and goes as a hitter? A week ago, he couldn't buy a hit at the plate. Had a really tough series in Chicago. Then homered a couple of times in Texas, homered again tonight.
You're right about the roller coaster ride, boy. It sure helps when you're an everyday player. You can learn to ride the roller coaster and try to keep an even keel. I think JP's just now starting to learn that.
The peaks and valleys, you want to even that out just a little bit. Yeah, those are where the good ones are. They stay right on that even keel.
Chopped down toward third. The pitcher makes a great play and then airmails it all the way down the right field line. Aronseeby will head towards second. Wilton Lopez made a terrific barehanded grab of the play, but he should have just put it in his pocket.
Yeah, either that or let the third baseman take it.
I was going to say, he made a strong throw. What's wrong with that?
You know, the guy in the first row
off balance and whoopsie.
Sinker beats it into the ground. That's a nice effort. But he knows as soon as he lets it go, he's going to be charged with an error.
So it's an infield hit for Aronseeby. He has a 3-hit night. The error charge to Lopez allows Aronseeby to get into scoring position for Meiser Sturis.
Now Meiser, with the home run from the right side, has now homered from both sides of the plate this year.
Steve Delabar starts to loosen up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Luke worked a third of an inning. Oliver had a quick 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Delabar hasn't pitched for a while.
No, and he'll get the 9th. And again, Pete Walker and John Gibbons trying to keep that bullpen sharp. They'll all try to get their 1 inning's worth of work.
Last time we saw Delabar was Thursday. Pitched the opener in Texas, worked an inning, struck out the side, gave up a single. So he's due for an inning. Get him out there and throw a few strikes. Two and two to Isturis. Drives this one into center. Hovind has a beat on it. The inning is over. We will go to the 9th. The Blue Jays riding a 4-run first inning, have an 8-3 lead. Steve Delabar into the ball game. The game brought to you by Bacardi Oak Smooth Spiced Rum. Bacardi is a proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We'll do a little something different here. We're going to give it to the right side of the infield. Kadire hits the ball to the right side. Edwin goes over there, and then Bonifacio, nice little bounce pass to Encarnacion to record the out over there at first base. He recognized Edwin's going to have to get over there quickly, and Edwin with a nice play or smooth move tonight.
Encarnacion did a good job. Bonifacio knew that he couldn't throw it on the fly. He bounced it, and it was a perfect play. Steve Delabar in to work the 9th. Aaron Luke, the 3rd of an inning. Oliver, an inning, and now Delabar in the 9th. Mentioned Steve Delabar has not pitched since Thursday down in Arlington. Kadire, Rosario, and Helton for Colorado.
Now, one of the things that Steve has been doing a little bit more while he is in there is he's using his fastball. He's using it a lot to jam hitters, pound it in that strike zone, and if he has to, spin a slider up there and throw the occasional splitter now.
You know, we talked about how Mark DeRosa is kind of the veteran leader. They've also got another one in the staff in the bullpen, Darren Oliver. Between Pat Henkin and Darren Oliver, you see the fastball riding up right there. I've really been talking to Steve Delabar about throwing that fastball more. They said, look at Steve, you don't realize how hard it is to hit a 96-mile-an-hour heater. You got to throw more of them right over the plate, get ahead in the count.
Especially when you can throw it up there. You can throw it in the lower part of the strike zone and then up around the shoulders to get the strikeout.
One down. Willeen Rosario has gone 1 for 3. He had an RBI single in that 3-run 7th inning. That's good breaking ball.
Oh, Uncle Charlie.
Hard late break. Once again, when you know a pitcher throws as hard as Delabar, you have a tendency to get the bat going.
You got to get it started. And that's just not fair when he's painting on the hard corner, mid-90s.
1-2. Splitter in the dirt. One thing Casey Jansen has tried to put into the reliever's mind is this is the pitch. You don't want to go any further than 2-2.
No.
Get something to happen right here. And he will go 3-2. That looked like a slider.
Yeah. Again, trying to be a little too fine.
Well, you talk about baseball 101 when those two guys start talking about pitching.
They never stop talking about it.
It's a master's course.
Yeah.
So there's the 1-out walk to Rosario. Now it's time for a preview of what's coming up on Connected. Here's Ken Reed and Amanda Osman. First baseman Todd Helton goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Helton has had a phenomenal career. He's a 5-time All-Star. Batting champ in 2000. Good fastball away.
He has been able to handle the lefties, I think, Delabar, because he can paint that fastball away to the lefties and then use the splitter. His splits are actually better against left-handed batters this year.
And he strikes out Todd Helton, second strikeout of the inning. Didn't waste any time, went right out for that outside corner.
One more time. Boy, that's a good pitch.
So the Rockies are down to their last out. The rookie Nolan Arenado has gone 0 for 3. Mark Burley, who's on quite a run, he will start tomorrow against Juan Nicasio. Burley picked up his 3rd win his last time out. And believe me, he doesn't want to be the guy that drops the ball in this great run of starting pitching.
Isn't that how it works? They all start getting on a roll and they want to one-up each other.
Follow the leader. And that's the great part of the snowball effect. The crowd sensing that final pitch. And another great game for the Blue Jays.
22,852 on hand. 0-2. Foul back.
You see what he has done after he walked Rosario? He's using his fastball again. Blew away Todd Helton, who's thrown 3 straight to young Nolan Arenado.
Delabar strikes out the side. The Blue Jays have won 7 in a row. 8-3 tonight against Colorado.
Home run bats once again for the Blue Jays. The 4 runs in the first inning were huge. They came out smoking against Jeff Francis. And then the back-to-back home runs by Aaron Sebia, Estouras, Encarnacion. Offense is clicking, and the pitching is right there, too.
Well, Esmil Rogers comes out and does his part tonight, and the offense picked him up early, but he pitched a whale of a game, and it's just exciting to see all the starters getting on a roll here as the Blue Jays start feeling a little bit more of that winning spirit.
J.P. Arancibia, a 3-hit night. We'll be back for the finale tomorrow. Blue Jays win at 8-3. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Ken Reed, Ivanka Osbeck. Here's Connected.